You want a show? I'll give you a show.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Avatar: The Last Airbender fights.
Well, look at this. Enemies and traitors, all working together.
For this list, we're looking over the greatest bouts to stem from this acclaimed animated series. If you haven't seen the entire show yet, this is your spoiler alert. Which of these bending battles left you hyped? Grab some tea at the Jasmine Dragon and let us know in the comments. Number 20. Roku vs. Sozin. Granted, this isn't so much an epic confrontation between equals as it is a one-sided beatdown courtesy of Avatar Roku putting the Fire Lord in his place.
I've seen the colony, Sozin. How dare you occupy Earth Kingdom territory? How dare you?
After uncovering Sozin's plans for worldly domination under the banner of the Fire Nation, Roku decides to put his childhood friend in his place. Even with his impressive firebending, Sozin stands no chance against the Avatar in his prime, who outright threatens him with elemental efficiency. That's certainly one way to end a lifelong friendship.
Even a single step out of line will result in your permanent end.
Number 19. Azula vs. Ty Lee and May. And this is where the dream trio well and truly fractured.
What are you doing?
Saving the jerk who dumped me.
Following Zuko and Sokka's escape from the boiling rock, May decides that she's willing to risk it all for her old flame rather than serve as Azula's enforcer.
You miscalculated. I love Zuko more than I fear you.
While this betrayal nearly leads to her being barbecued, Ty Lee joins the mini-rebellion at the last second by using her chi blocking to subdue Azula in an instant. It's the start of Azula's spiral into madness, and a reaffirmation that despite fighting for the Fire Nation, both May and Ty Lee are not without moral codes of their own. Number 18. Team Avatar vs. Combustion Man. Hired by Zuko to put an end to the Avatar, the nameless assassin only known for his ability to make things explode turned out to be very dedicated to his job. His first encounter with the gang leads them to run for the hills on account of his combustion abilities proving deadly enough to even overcome their combined bending. Only for him to hunt them halfway around the world and try to take them out at the Western Air Temple. Unfortunately for all his talents, Combustion Man has no defenses against the might of a boomerang to the face. Become a WatchMojo channel member and get exclusive perks like Mojo emojis, loyalty badges, priority comment replies, and exclusive members-only content, including live list rankings with the Mojo staff and peeks behind the scenes. Don't miss out! Number 17. Zuko and Iroh vs. Azula. One of the earliest examples of Azula's cruelty, manipulation, and fighting prowess, this sibling battle on a boat is both fiery and frantic.
We're taking the prisoners home! Your Highness,
After accidentally revealing that Zuko and Iroh are to be taken back to the Fire Nation as prisoners, both uncle and nephew battle their way to freedom.
Zuko! Let's go!
Naturally, the Dragon of the West takes down anyone who comes at him with expert precision, whereas Zuko struggles to overcome Azula's superior agility and mind games.
And he considers you a miserable failure.
Extra points for the flaming knives, though. Number 16. Zuko vs. Katara. Before they were the closest of allies, the exiled prince and the girl from the Southern Water Tribe were locked in one brawl after another, with this being their most poignant.
I see you've learned a new trick.
With Aang down for the count following the siege of the North, it falls to Katara to protect him, demonstrating how far she's come as a waterbender by holding off a desperate and volatile Zuko. And for the most part, she wipes the floor with him. Unfortunately, as everyone knows, when the sun rises, firebenders come into their own.
You rise with the moon. I rise with the sun.
Number 15, Zuko versus Gao. While Zuko's time alone was mainly about introspection and dealing with the trauma of his younger years, that's not to say the prince didn't get into a fair few scuffles along the way.
Let the kid go.
Who do you think you are?
After being taken in by a kind family, Zuko chooses to come to their aid when their village is attacked by a group of corrupt Earthbenders. The final face-off with the hammer-wielding Gao initially proves to be too much for Zuko to handle. At least until he relents and reveals himself to be a firebender. It's a hollow victory, however, as his identity once again causes him to be shunned by all.
It's yours. You should have it.
No, I hate you.
Number 14, Aang versus Azula. The duel atop the drill is certainly one of Avatar's most creative showdowns, and once again showcased that even against an Avatar, Azula is a force of nature. As the titular drill burrows its way into Ba Sing Se, Aang uses every elemental trick in the book to hold off the relentless princess. Water whips, airwaves, even a shell of stone, but it still isn't enough to hold off Azula's relentless barrage of flames. Though she is finally brought to a halt when Aang goes on the offensive with a rock-coated fist. That looked like it hurt. Number 13, Zuko versus Jet. Ah yes, the bad boys of the Avatar franchise, filled with more pride than sense, and both accomplished dual wielders.
You want a show? I'll give you a show.
After the former freedom fighter kicks up a fuss in the Jasmine Dragon, it doesn't take long before the two of them end up crossing blades, or hooks. While the battle is absent of bending, it's brilliantly choreographed, displaying how nimble both are, as well as their skill with their respective weapons, playing out almost like a wuxia film.
You're the one who needs help.
It's a shame that Dai Li intervened. Otherwise, we could have seen who the truly superior swordsman was.
Drop your weapons!
Number 12, Sokka versus Piandao. Finally, Sokka gets a chance to shine.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
After taking up swordsmanship in an effort to prove himself as a valuable member of the gang, the jokester of Team Avatar gets a chance to put his skills to the test when his new master challenges him to an impromptu battle. While obviously less skilled than a legendary warrior like Piandao, Sokka's innate agility and inventiveness allow him to stay on equal footing. At least for long enough to demonstrate just how handy he can be with his newly forged space sword.
Excellent work, Sokka.
Number 11, Katara versus Pakku. Before she was widely regarded as one of the strongest waterbenders, Katara had to prove herself capable. Not exactly an easy task when her would-be teacher viewed her as useless simply because she's a girl.
No, No way am I apologizing to a sour old man like you!
Endlessly frustrated by Pakku's stubbornness, Katara decides to take matters into her own hands and challenge him directly.
Fine. You want to learn to fight so bad?
Study closely.
What follows is an exquisite display of waterbending, as both the new and the old generation throw everything they have into the fight.
You can't knock me down! Go, Katara!
With Katara demonstrating that despite her tender age, she is a natural at putting her foes on ice. Number 10. White Lotus versus the Fire Nation. Step aside, kids. The OG Benders are about to step up to the plate.
Well, look who's here.
As the last stages of the war with the Fire Nation continue to escalate, Iroh, along with his fellow members of the Order of the White Lotus, lead the charge to liberate Ba Sing Se.
Ba Sing Se, the Order of the White Lotus is here.
Here to set you free.
Only once every 100 years can a firebender experience this kind of power.
It might sound like a one-way trip until you see these geezers decimate everything they come across. With Zhang, Pakku, Bumi, and Piandao in tow, it's quickly established the insurgents do not stand a chance. It's just another amazing layer to what was already shaping up to be a remarkable finale. Number 9. Aang and Katara versus Zuko and Azula.
It's just that for so long now, whenever I would imagine the face of the enemy, it was your face.
My face. I see.
No, that's not what I meant.
It's okay. I used to think this scar marked me. The mark of the banished prince, cursed to chase the Avatar forever.
It is the crossroads of destiny, where battle lines are drawn, and the moment all fans despaired as they watched Zuko cast his lot in with his villainous sister.
You are not the man you used to be, Zuko. You are stronger and wiser and freer than you have ever been. And now you have come to the crossroads of your destiny. It's time for you to choose.
Despite finding happiness in a simple life with his uncle and even reaching an understanding with Katara, Zuko ultimately chooses to fight against the Avatar for the chance to reclaim his place at his father's side. It's as tragic as the fight itself is blinding, with a furious clash of elementals followed by the shocking sight of Azula seemingly bringing down the Avatar with a bolt of lightning to the back. Number 8. Zuko vs. Ozai. Brief yet brilliant, this tussle was the shining moment our boy Zuko decided he was done being bad, directly challenging his father and declaring he was joining Aang.
But I've come to an even more important decision. I'm going to join the Avatar, and I'm going to help him defeat you.
Ozai might have thought he had the drop on his son by blasting him with lightning just as the day of Black Sun ends. But he didn't account for Zuko using Iroh's teachings to redirect it back in his tyrannical face. Throw in the bombshell that Zuko's mother is alive, and you've got yourself a pinnacle Avatar moment here.
Coward! You think you're brave enough to face me, but you'll only do it during the eclipse. If you have any real courage, you'll stick around until the sun comes out. Don't you want to know what happened to your mother?
Number 7. Zuko vs. Zhao. See what happens when you listen to Uncle Iroh? You get results.
Remember your firebending basics, Prince Zuko. They are your greatest weapons.
I refuse to let him win.
As an arrogant commander with an inflated ego to match Zuko's, Zhao did little to hide his distaste for the prince, eager to catch the Avatar for himself and the glory that would come with it.
If you have an ounce of loyalty left, you'll tell me what you've found.
I haven't found anything. It's like you said, the Avatar probably died a long time ago.
As tempers continue to flare, the two eventually come to blows via the ancient combat tradition of Agni Kai.
But in his eyes, you are a failure and a disgrace to the Fire Nation.
That's not true.
You have the scar to prove it.
Oh, maybe you'd like one to match.
Is that a challenge?
An Agni Kai at sunset.
Very well.
You'd expect with his years of experience, Zhao would wipe the floor with the embittered royal adolescent. But after following Iroh's advice, Zuko pulls off one of his earliest wins. Number 6. Katara vs. Hama. The Fire Nation's subjugation of the world resulted in countless casualties and victims, but it also created a few monsters, and none was more terrifying than Hama.
Sorry to frighten you. My name is Hama. You children shouldn't be out in the forest by yourselves at night. I have an inn nearby. Why don't you come back there for some spiced tea and warm beds?
Originally appearing as a gentle old woman willing to assist Katara in improving her waterbending, it's revealed that she's the one responsible for a string of recent disappearances, all in the name of revenge against the Fire Nation for her imprisonment years ago.
I didn't know that spirits made prisons like this. Who brought you here?
It was no spirit.
It was a witch.
A witch? What do you mean? She seems like a normal old woman, but she controls people like some dark puppet master.
This leads us to the revelation that Hama is a bloodbender, whose drive for vengeance is so strong that Katara is left with little choice but to embrace the taboo art to save herself and her friends.
My work is done. Congratulations, Katara. You're a bloodbender.
Number 5. Azula vs. everyone.
Do you really want to fight me?
Yes, I really do.
Zuko! I was wondering when you'd show up, Zuzu.
If you are in doubt that Azula was a badass, then you need only watch her take on the combined might of Aang, Zuko, Toph, Katara, and Iroh, and she still walks away the winner. After driving her quarry to fatigue for days on end, the Wicked Princess takes on pretty much half the cast all at once.
Uncle, get up!
With an abandoned village serving as their battleground, Azula effortlessly demonstrates her incredible agility, cunning tactics, and insanely strong firebending. You know you're the MVP villain when you force a desperate alliance between your mortal enemies.
Well, look at this. Enemies and traitors, all working together.
Number 4. Aang, Katara, and Sokka vs. Azula, Mai, and Ty Lee.
The Avatar. My lucky day.
A desperate escape from Omashu with Azula on their tail would normally be bad enough, but with the combined threat of Azula's newest recruits, the city's roller coaster-like structure, and Bumi's life hanging in the balance, Aang and the rest barely survived this encounter.
Hang on, Bumi! Our ride's here!
Not only was the fight fast-paced and frantic, but it also highlighted that while they weren't walking volcanoes like Azula, Mai and Ty Lee were still lethal in their own right, and not to be underestimated. Number 3. Toph vs. Earthbenders. How do you establish yourself as one of the series' greatest characters in just a single fight scene? Well, if you're Toph, you take on a group of deadly Earthbenders all by yourself and utterly trounce them.
Let him go! I beat you all before and I'll do it again!
The boulder takes issue with that comment.
Wait! They're mine.
With Aang captured, it falls to the blind bandit to take down the Rumble Six, which she does like a boss. In spite of her ocular impairment, Toph's sense of touch is beyond anything, allowing her to take every opponent to task with such fluidity and force that it leaves everyone breathless. No one messes with the Melon Lord.
She's the greatest Earthbender I've ever seen.
Number 2. Zuko and Katara vs. Azula. Where do we even begin with a showdown like this?
Sorry, but you're not going to become Fire Lord today. I am.
You're hilarious. And you're going down.
In order to claim his birthright as Fire Lord, Zuko challenges his sister to one last Agni Kai. And let's be honest, by this point, Azula has started to tip into the realm of insanity.
All your life you've used fear to control people. Like your friends Mai and Ty Lee.
Well, what choice do I have? Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way. Even you fear me.
Fueled by the power of Sozin's comet, the scale of this flame fest is unprecedented, with Zuko clearly having the edge over his deteriorating sibling, at least until he took a blow intended for Katara. From there, the once naive girl from the Water Tribe takes the stage, using her own bending skills to imprison Azula for good. It's the tag team match we didn't know we wanted, and it ended up becoming one of the series' standout spectacles. Number 1. Aang vs. Ozai.
Please listen to me. We don't have to fight. You have the power to end it here and stop what you're doing.
You are right. I do have the power. I have all the power in the world!
It is the final battle to end all final battles, and it exceeded all expectations. Empowered by Sozin's comet, Ozai proved to be an opponent of such ferocity that even with 4 elements, Aang was left at the Phoenix King's mercy. Paired with his internal conflict in regards to killing, it looked like Aang was destined to lose, though that was quickly erased when he took the Avatar state to the next level, bending multiple elements in unison before finally bringing Ozai to his knees.
Come on out, little boy. You're about to be...
This leads to what might just be Aang's most defining moment as the Avatar, choosing to strip the Fire Lord of his bending instead of resorting to bloodshed. Balance restored.
What did you do to me?
I took away your firebending. You can't use it to hurt or threaten anyone else ever again.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.